Gator Report. I'm here with Coach Goodspeed after the upset victory. Big game. Wiregrass Ranch coming in 7-1. There's no Vegas line on high school football, but definitely came in as the underdogs and the biggest upset of Friday night, maybe certainly in Pasco County, but maybe statewide. Just give us your overall thoughts of the game.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Wiregrass has been having a phenomenal season. They have a lot of weapons on offense. The receivers, some rocket ships that are out there. The quarterback's been playing well. I think he's an Army commit. Defensively, they have size, they have speed, and they're the district champs for a reason. I mean, they played some really good football over the course of the season. So, and unfortunately, our season has gone, and it's been a challenge with all our injuries and issues that we've had over the season. And even with all that being said, we've had guys step up and play in spots and out of position and really contribute to the team where they fit in. But for whatever reason, if one play goes bad or the other team starts getting momentum, you can feel the air just get sucked out of our sidelines. And it transfers over to the other team. I mean, there's been many times that we've been up at half or, with a really good lead over in half. And, one bad thing happens and, just the mythical momentum that everybody always talks about gets sucked out of the team and it just stays on the other sideline. So that's something we've been battling. But, it also goes in with injuries that we have, and you have to move people around, and just that cohesion, hasn't been there. So since the first, since we played Victory Christian in the preseason, and then in the first two games, so we knew last night was going to be a challenge. It was our boys' senior night, and it's going to be the last time they're going to be on that field. And the message the whole week was, listen, we need to come together for our seniors. We need to, play our behinds off and just, send them out on the right note. This is the last time we're going to be on this football field together as this team, and let's send them off the right way. And then, of course, the school has issues this week. We missed 2 days of practice or 1 day of practice because of I'm sure everybody's heard the envelope stuff.
Right.
It always seems to strike at the wrong time, which is, I don't think I've ever been, as many years as I've been coaching and playing, this year's been crazy. So we knew it was going to be a challenge, but, the boys answered the call. And it was a fun game to watch and be a part of. You always, to me, when you go play teams and you just get into these blowouts, yeah, it's good for your record, and everybody's like, oh, everybody got a touchdown tonight, but that doesn't make your heart beat. Oh, yeah. This one, right, where it's back and forth, you didn't know what was going to happen. There could have been a potential for us when we fumbled the snap, and all of a sudden they drive down the field. Does the momentum get sucked off our sideline again, and are we done?
Right.
We come out of halftime. What's going to happen? So. All in all, it was a great win. I know, Hendricks wasn't as excited about the defense because we gave up points, but they're a scoring machine. They put up points.
They were going into their last, their last 5 games. They're averaging 53 points.
Yeah.
But Land O'Lakes defense is something they haven't seen before.
Exactly.
We're averaging giving up 20 points. They hadn't seen that before. I think we're ranked 3rd in the county in defense.
Yeah.
So I was confident that we were going to give them a real challenge that they hadn't seen before on defense.
No
it was our offensive side that has been struggling the last few games, and they showed up. They showed up, and you mentioned doing it for the seniors, and when we talk about this game at the end of the game, I don't know. I went back and watched some film, and I saw everyone celebrating after the field goal kick, and a lot of guys were running and jumping up and down. I saw one senior put his hands on his helmet and dropped to his knees, and that was KJ Moses.
KJ, yeah, it's actually on film, but
Yeah.
I mean that's
Emotional.
here's the emotionally. Here's the thing. Regardless of what happens in a season, over time, in a short time, the wins and losses. You don't remember that. I can't remember how many games I've lost or how many won. It's sitting at this point and going back on the record book. But it's those moments, on our home field that they're going to remember forever.
Yep.
That struggle back and forth in that game. And they're going to remember it was a tough season. But to have it come together on our home field in front of our fans, in front of mom and dad, in front of grandma and grandpa, in front of our band, in front of their peers, that's the thing they're going to remember.
Sure.
You know what I mean? That amazing feeling. And that's what I told them after the game. It's been a challenge this season, right? But remember, no matter, not just in football, but, that perseverance, that, hey, they're going to show up every day and work and things aren't going your way or in life, and you just keep, when I say chopping wood, things are going to turn.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great, that's why football's so great, because of those life lessons. So I hope the seniors that are leaving us, I hope they take that forever, because that's a special moment for them. I told them also before the game, I said, hey, make sure you take 1 second in the middle of a game and just kind of look around and put those in your files, because when that goes away, that's a tough thing, but you're going to remember those moments. So,
Yeah.
and sometimes when you're in a game and it's going so fast, you just kind of, at the end, you just remember a couple plays. But I told them to make sure you look around and remember this moment.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's kind of surprised a lot of people, but maybe not surprised the coaching staff, maybe not surprised the boys, because we talked about it before, there's no moral victories, but we were in a lot of those games this season. And, for whatever reason, a couple mistakes, play here and there, and, the score doesn't really reflect how hard those guys played all those other games, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You go back over the course of the season, Zephyr Hills, we're up by a lot at halftime, and Zephyr Hills is a good team, district championship, or they just won their district again this season. We're up by 2 scores at halftime, I think it was.
Yeah,
we were up, and then we still had a chance we gave up some points, but we still had a chance to win.
Yeah.
We're on the goal line, and a mistake here,
Yep.
and that wasn't the only factor in that, losing that game. I could see parts in the film where that.
Yeah.
Those mistakes hurt us. Nature Coast. Well, again, we're up at halftime, and then they drive and get a touchdown, and then they onside kick.
Right.
And it kind of takes. So we were in a lot of these games. Mitchell, we were tied at halftime,
Right.
and then we had a really. We lost the team leader and to a horrible injury.
Yep.
And that really sucked the air out of us. Not taking it away from those teams. They
Right.
did what they had to do.
Yeah, of
but
course.
there's what I seen coming in the 2 days and going against Victory Christian. That's all been there. It's just we've had a lot of choppiness along the way to really hurt our momentum and growth.
Right.
So.
Well, you
But
guys,
this is what I envisioned for the team. So
Yeah.
I'm glad that we got to see it.
yeah, and so we got a couple guys back from injuries,
Yep.
and then I want to focus on the offense, because unbelievable performance by so many guys. We could you could list damn near the whole roster of people that flashed in this game. But let's talk about that first drive on offense. We got Cody running the ball a couple times, and we end up in,
Which I think this was probably one of Cody's most complete games. From start to finish, pass protection, running the ball, being smart with the ball, just. We went to a couple situations where it was like 3rd and 2, and maybe if you'd have bounced it, it would have been a home run. But he wasn't selfish and stuck his helmet in there
Yep.
to get us that first down to keep
Right.
the drive going.
Sustain
and
the
that's
drive.
part of the growth.
Yep. So that first drive was 12 plays, but we sputtered on the initial first 3 downs.
Yeah.
So you're faced with a 4th down about midfield,
Yeah.
and you went for it.
Yeah. So the thought is I knew we could, if we got into a rhythm with our offensive line and we got a hat on a hat, I knew we could get push. I mean, they had some big boys over there, but I knew our line could have some push. And with KJ going back to guard, with Cole being back, I mean, that kind of changes the face of our offensive line a little bit. So we knew I could pull it and kick them, and I knew we would be able to, keep those gaps sealed and go. And they did a great job up front. They, they clenched down and anchored and said, "Hey, we're going to get this fourth down," and it kind of, getting that starts to get that momentum, right? And so the belief that we can do these things, which with all the movement up front. And not, the line has to play together as much as possible. It's been, a little more of a challenge. So, getting that really kind of vaulted us into saying, hey, all right, we're back on track. We can do this.
Yeah, I think that was huge. You showed the guys that you believed in them, and they did what they needed to do. I saw some holes in there. KJ I thought had a great game. I mean, you could drive a truck through some of those holes,
Yeah, really. Like I said, watching the film last night, because I really can't sleep after games, so I'm always making sure I'm getting on that film. Last night at 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock, I'm watching the film, and really across the board, we were, we had mistakes, yes, but most of the time we were. On our guys, and we're getting pushed, and we're starting to finish a block, which that's been the thing that is, we have guys, right? We have players, but just getting them to finish those blocks and have that little more nastiness is what I've been looking for, and we kind of showed up last night, and that's what, got us that extra, there's not hands on Cody when he's running through the hole, and he can burst into the second level and make his cuts.
Yeah, I saw a bunch of that on film. That drive ended with a pass to Zach Campbell in the flat on the 20, and he muscled through 3 potential tacklers for the touchdown. So
that was good to see on there. It was Zach's been doing a good job all year, being a blocking tight end for us, and when he's called to catch the football, he does an amazing job. That was great for him and rewarding for me to watch, for just him to get that catch and then have that desire to get to the end zone and not go down. So that was fun. I watched that about 10 times on the film. It was really good. We're gonna have fun watching that on Monday.
All right, let's go into the second drive. So we knew going into this game we were going to need to sustain drives and stay on the field on offense to stay in the game, right? So great drive, got all the way down to the, I believe, like the 2.5-yard line.
That was off a turnover, wasn't it? I think they.
I think we had excellent field position. We started out like on the 50 or something.
Yeah, I thought.
We started on the Bulls 40-yard line, and then we threw a nice pass. It was like an in route to Donnie. He went up and got it.
Something that I kind of saw on film. We adjusted our route combination a little bit on that one because I think there's a little bit of a hole in that part of the defense. And I think the ball was a little bit high. I think Kyle was still trying to get into his groove a little bit. The ball was a little high, but Donnie made an excellent catch, went up, and that really kind of started, setting the tone. But and this is what this team needs. They need someone to be explosive, right? They're like a powder keg, right? We have the potential, but somebody needs to, ignite it.
Mason Clark got a good run in there, and then I watched this one play probably about 10 times myself. Thomas Taylor pulled, and you talk about finishing blocks. He takes out the first guy. He keeps driving. Cody's like right on his backside,
and then he bounces. It's. Like I said, when we put the puzzles back into play, the pieces back into place, the good things happen. And Thomas has been, he's been grinding. He's been through some injuries this season, but he really He really showed out for this game, and it was fun to watch him.
Yeah.
Of course, he gets nicked in this game. And it could have been a situation where, all right, we're back to it again. We have another injury.
Yeah.
And Will was playing well. Thomas was playing well, and then so then Will had to step in.
Yeah.
And is he a guard? I kind of wanted to use the word H this season, but he's been stepping in there and battling his butt off. So it was just a game that the boys wanted to have.
So we get all the way down to the other end on that drive, and we got a botched snap.
Yep.
And it's we're going right. I think it was like 2 minutes or 3 minutes left in the half. So we're going down. We got all this momentum. We're about ready to put some points on the board and go into halftime. And then this botch snap, and then they turn around and score. That could have been a huge deflating moment for the team, but and we've seen how that. And we just talked about how that could happen. But last night, that's not what happened.
Yeah, and here's as a coach what you see from a team that will carry a lot of things even in the future with our young guys, the underclassmen. So you're absolutely right. When something like that has hit us, we get deflated, right? Oh, it's over,
right?
There's plenty of time on there. Well, since I've taken over at Land O'Lakes, we haven't. You got to go back, and it's weird how this works, and I don't know how it works or why it works, but it's those traditions, those histories that you have with the boys, and in a program. Just like the Georges and the Floridas and the FSU, whatever, right? They can go back on those things and say, hey, we've been in a tight spot before. We're good. Let's just come back and keep at it. So the thing that I love about what happened last night is, like you said, over the course of the season, bad thing happens, deflated, all right, here we go. But we fought past that last night, and against a good football team. Right? It'd be okay, it'd be one thing if they were a bad football team and, they got lucky and we're going to be fine. But no, this is a good team. We know how many points they put up. We know they had a decent defense, right? And we could have, had the life sucked out of us. But to fight back from that, right after halftime and come right back on the field, I think the first drive we went 3 and out. But then after that, we started driving again down the field. But what that shows the rest of the team, especially the underclassmen, is, hey, we've been there before. Now I can go back and talk when we get into a tight game next season. Hey, remember at Wiregrass what we did? And they're like, oh yeah, we can do this, and it builds that confidence in a program. So we took that. To me, that takes you a major step. Something that we haven't had at Land O'Lakes, that tradition of fighting. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah, so the third drive, when you come back, 8 plays. Again, sustaining offensive drives, I think, is key to the victory here. And Kyle, 50-yard pass to Brandon Austin. Talk about Kyle's night.
So we have a new quarterback coach that we brought in, Coach Frazier. He's been working nonstop with Kyle, trying to help him, see the defenses better, work his technique, and he played quarterback. I think we talked about it at Notre Dame and UConn. So he's been in the mix, and he's changed some of our route combinations a little bit to help him, made the receivers understand some things a little bit better, and been working with our receivers coach, for a lot. And, they've been putting a lot of pressure on our receivers. To the point where, maybe our receivers get frustrated, but, Coach Gallo, he's like, he played receiver in college, right? He said, this is how it's going to be, right? I need effort. I need your routes broken off here. Same thing with Kyle. Hey, the ball's got to come out on time. It can't be a lazy throw. It's got to be here. You have to see the defense. And the other step is the last eyes everybody sees is the quarterback, and part of that growing as a leader. And I think we saw all that last night. I mean, it's been crazy. Kyle's has had a crazy career, right? High school career. And last night, everything kind of came together for him. The line protected for him. We had one sack. It's because we messed up. I think we messed up the formation a little bit. And we didn't have, well, that's what it was. We messed up the formation. So that was our only sack. I think we had one sack and one hurry. But he managed it well. He took care of the football. We didn't give up that. When there was pressure, we didn't turn around and run backwards and take, a 20-yard loss. Right. There was a time, what I haven't seen him do before, where he got pressured and scrambled out, and instead of panicking and trying to put his head down and go, or take that big sack, he just threw out of bounds.
Yeah.
Right. And we stayed alive to play. So he really grew, and that was nice to see.
Yeah.
And he just, I told him, I said, get your line to block. Tell him.
Yeah.
We need this. I need time.
Yep.
And I think that's, and he's smiling after the game, which I haven't seen in a long time, which is good. Which is all good things.
It was great to see. I mean, very poised.
Very poised. That's a great word for it. He was very poised out there.
In control of the game for sure. So, all right. So we get into halftime. We come out. We got a couple of punts, and then we had on the eighth drive. It was a 3-play drive, but Kyle did this double pump, and I think that was to Clemente. Yeah.
So my two young receivers that I just absolutely love. They're great young men, Clemente and Robinson. I've been trying to get the ball in their hands and trying to force it a little bit, to kind of take a little pressure off BA and Donnie and Ryan when he's in. They're young, right? They're going to make a mistake here. I mean, sometimes they're still trying to figure out how to get lined up, which is fine. I mean, I expect that. They're freshmen. But I've been trying to almost force the ball in their hands a little bit, which is, a challenge in itself.
Yeah.
To have all that happen. But in the first half, I think Clemente had 2 drops. Is the play caller, I'm getting a little frustrated. I'm like trying to get the ball in his hands, and it's not producing. And what are we going to do? I can't, we can't wait all day for this to happen. And then the second half, he just turned it on. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And I was so happy for him.
Yeah.
It was great. He had that. It was like a little wheel. I mean, we call it a later, but it kind of set up off a screen and ran down the field. Made a great catch.
Yep.
Kyle found him. The line protected, and then he made a move and he showed his speed.
Yeah, he's got some wheels on him on that particular double pump play. I think he had 25 yak yards.
Oh yeah. And then, we did it again later on just a little slant wheel.
Well, I think it was the next play, the next drive. It was 12 plays, and that ended up in him with a touchdown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, he was sparking the team. Right, everybody sees that. Everybody sees, big touchdown run, a lot of yak, he made the catch. Yeah, we all see that. A couple plays on one of the drive, or on one of the plays on a drive going towards the scoreboard. You only see this as a coach, but it shows the heart, right? 23 was a pretty big safety, right? Yeah. And Cody was running the football. Clemente comes off the ball and sticks him, bam, and he's giving up about, I don't know, a foot maybe.
Yeah.
But the fight in that dog.
Yeah.
And so he hit him, and the safety comes on like, whoa, look, popped his head back and kind of looked, and then started trying to draw him. And of course they wrestled, and he's giving up some weight difference and kind of threw him. But to have a young kid like that, right, come off the football, right, and stick the safety, because we need those running yards.
Yep.
I mean, yes, I love the touchdowns, obviously. I love the catches and everything. But that's unselfish. That's a dog. That's a dude that wants to play football, right?
Well,
and that's what we're trying to build.
And that's what good football teams do.
Exactly. I mean, we're talking about a little bit about the offense here, but there was a play where we had a defense where we gave up a big one on the slant. Mason Clark is on the other side of the field, right? And he flies as fast as he can for, I don't know, maybe it was 70 yards, however long that was, and almost caught the receiver. Right? But that's hard. You can't, once you have that, I would rather have a bunch of average athletes with heart and desire, right? That want to do that. Because you'll win a lot of football games.
You can't teach that.
You can't teach that. Right? The athleticism, that's only a bonus, right? The fundamentals of a football team are when and where, technique, and effort. And that was amazing to me. And that's what we saw differently this game than the past games.
And that, I think Donnie had a big play down the sideline setting up that touchdown, contested catch.
He made a nice play on that.
He had a hell of a game too, for sure. But I want to get to this play in the 10th drive. I love saying that, 10th offensive drive, right?
Exactly.
But you had trips left. You had a comeback route on the sideline. You had like a button route in the seam. And then who was it that, I think it was BA that caught that pass, brought it right down to the goal line.
That was Chance.
Oh, that was Chance.
Robinson, yeah.
Okay.
Yes, and we had a long talk about this as a staff at the end of when we were at the end of the game, because that ball was perfectly thrown, just out of the reach of the safety, able underneath the corner that was playing off, and right into his hands.
I mean, I was holding my breath when I saw the ball going in.
Yeah,
it was so
because I saw it open on the other end, and he snuck it in there. Those are the balls that Kyle is capable of doing, and I've seen him do in practice, and I've seen him do when we did the 7-on-7. I know that's not real football, and I wouldn't put anything on that, but I've seen him move receivers to get there, and to have that ball put right where it needed to be at that point, and have the protection work out. The past couple weeks, that's the time where we miss a power step on the lineman, and we're getting a little pressure, and the ball goes off, and we either get sacked or we throw a pick, or the receiver runs it a little too tight and it gets picked off or whatever. This is, hey, we took coaching, we've learned, we've learned from our mistakes. The ball is put right where it needs to be, and we get down to, I think it was the 1.
And we tried to punch it in, and that's where we ended up getting that field goal.
Yes.
With
so
I'm not gonna.
I'm out of timeouts. Right. So we're in hurry up. And and it's crazy on the sidelines. I'm trying to run personnel group because down on the goal line, I mean, we have the receivers and we were throwing very well. But on the 1, what they try to do is pinch everybody and bring guys off the edge, so it makes it, a pressure situation for the quarterback. And it's hard to block all those guys, so you'd have to sub in some, make those edges. I say the surface needs to be bigger. We were there. So, what was your question on that?
What's that?
What was your question on that? You said, you have some.
Well, we can't get fined. This isn't the NFL. We can't get fined. But man, some of the officiating, it just seemed like we just kept getting. We got pushed back, and it was all these flags, and I'm a firm believer, and you got to let the kids play, right? I mean, if there's an egregious foul, obviously, that's what the officials are for. But some of that stuff, I mean, I was just like, holy cow, it seems so. And I know I'm a homer guy, right? But it seems really one-sided. Like it was all they could do to keep us out of the end zone there. But we got the field.
The officiating. I mean, it's hard to. I mean, yes, it gets upsetting at times. But they're out there doing the best job they can do. All right, let's be honest. For very little pay,
right?
They're short-staffed as it is, and it always feels like no matter what sideline you're on, is they're going against you. I mean, I've been both on sides. When I was at Rivers, we used to say, we can't get one officiating crew that's going to, call the game fair for us. And now I'm
Right,
sitting on
right.
Land O'Lakes sidelines, and we're like, oh my gosh, these refs. So you got to see it from both sides. Yeah, was it frustrating? Yeah, but that's why I go out there and have a conversation with the white hat and say, hey, that's not right. This is not right. Of course, my wife is like, you need to start throwing your hat and your headset and everything. I'm saying, well, I'm not that kind of guy, right?
Right.
It's, offense is more controlled.
Well, I've heard
But they've done the best they could. They've managed the game.
Right.
As long as it doesn't affect the game,
Right.
you know what I mean, in
Yeah.
the way it shouldn't,
Right.
then they're out there doing a great job.
Yeah, and I've often heard coaches say you should never let it come down to the officiating crew, right? You know, so I get all that. But it's still, when you're in the emotion of the
when
game
you're in the
and
moment and you're
back
emotional
and
and
forth, and the game is so tight, and it's like every little second on the clock and every little yard on the field, it's like you're looking for everything.
I understand from from our perspective as a coach, from the player's perspective, seeing it, and there's a flag, and you're like, oh my gosh, and from the fan standpoint, all the way up to the box.
Yeah,
but
I mean, we even had another play. We had with 0 time on the clock that they, for another, so.
Yeah.
But anyway, you guys overcame and a tremendous upset, and we talked a lot about the offense, and quite frankly, that's what I was watching last night and this morning.
Well, fair enough, because we've been waiting for it to explode. I mean, we've been hampered a little bit about some of the things we can do, and I know a lot of people don't that watch the game don't understand that. But there's 11 players that we got to make sure that we're going to take care of those players and make sure we're getting to the holes right and taking advantage of what we can do consistently and efficiently.
Yeah.
Sure, everybody likes to see the ball thrown, 500 times.
Right.
But that's just not football. I mean, they don't even do that in the NFL, and they have the best pass protectors, the best receivers, right? No. You have to establish runs. You have to run to our strengths.
And time of possession is important.
And time of possession, you got, especially with guys playing both ways.
Yeah.
You got to make sure that we rest the guys, and when we need them, one of our safeties like BA, he goes both ways. We need to make sure he gets some rest on some place so we can play good defense.
Yep.
We need to have him rested so we can play good offense.
Yeah.
Same with Donnie. Same with KJ. KJ plays 99% of the plays.
Right.
And he doesn't complain. He just goes out there, and I love that kid, by the way.
Yeah.
He's an amazing human being.
Yeah.
He's gonna be very successful in life. But he, and it kind of came together for us tonight.
Yeah.
So, last night.
So, talk about the atmosphere a little bit. Senior night and all that. I think we always put a really good atmosphere together. But being such a big game, and just I don't know how much you guys feel it from the sideline, but man, the crowd was into it.
No, it was. Yeah, absolutely. So senior night, you want to make it special because some of the boys are going to go on to play football. Some of them, that was their last home game or last football. Well, we have one more game, and we don't know what's going to happen if there's a chance at playoffs. We have a very good strength of schedule. I don't know, but I told them, I said, hey, make sure we take care of this, and we'll see what happens. Right? And then we'll go after and get after Pasco and see what happens.
Yeah.
But after Pasco, if we don't go to the playoffs, I mean, some of these boys, this is the last time they'll play football. So we want to make it special for them, but not only them, the parents, families, because they're part of this, right? I mean, they get excited for their success, and some of them have been doing it since Pee-wees and at every game and celebrating. So, and this is going to be it's going to be a tough one when they pull out the helmet for mom and dad too, or grandma and grandpa, whoever it may be.
Yeah.
So we have a special senior meal for them. They eat with their family. I get to visit with the families a little bit. The parents put together these gift baskets for the boys, just kind of a shirt with their numbers and a whole bunch of little things that make it more special. We have their senior signs out there. They get to walk across the field. just those. They even did a thing where this time where the moms got to sit with their player, in the jersey in the stands. The moms will fall, which I think is amazing. They had shirts with their child's their picture on it, when they were big. I mean, very special. Right? And to have it like that and the support in the stands, and the band sounded awesome, like usual. I told the band director, I said, man, when you guys take a break on the drive-by, they take their break at the third quarter, I mean, it gets a little quiet, and I miss them, right? Because they're playing at the right time, and they're nice and loud. And I told them, I said, even when the offense is on the field, I don't care. Let's have that atmosphere. So, and they sound amazing. So it was.
And we had some fireworks at the.
But the thing that was great to me was, we're down by we missed the field goal, and that could have been
the extra point.
Or the extra point, that could have been something that sucked the life out of us too. But we came back down the field and did that. And you could feel the emotion and everybody's hurrying in the 2-minute drive that we had. And then to get down there and then to kick that field goal and have everybody jumping up and down on the.
We didn't talk about that, but the kicking game this year and your kicker. Nothing to shake a stick at, but those are some clutch kicks, especially at the end, right?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing of Trevor. He's never played football before. He came out for the team this year, and we have somebody else trying to get FaceTime. So. Anyways, so he came out for the football team this season, this year, and it was really done a great job for us in learning, how to punt, how to get his kicking time up, how to kick off, and he was super frustrated when he missed the extra point, right? As he felt it.
Sure.
But then to come back, and when I was trying to center the ball for him, because we're close, but sometimes when you get close to the goal line, that angle gets a little tricky. And so I was going to try to center the ball, and we're out of timeouts, and we're very close to we're going to have to run the field goal unit on, and I think they jumped offside, so it kind of played into our favor. So I said, hey, let's just kick it, so in case we have a botched snap, we still can eat it and have the fourth down for it. And we needed the protection, we got the protection, we needed the kick, he delivered. Phenomenal moment for him.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
For the team, but for him.
Team,
for him, the fans, and you could feel everybody, we got a point right now. And I'm trying to calm everybody down on the sidelines. I'm excited too, but hey, let's everybody stay on the sidelines.
Yeah, we got 16 seconds left.
Yeah, we have time. This game's still going. But it's hard to control that emotion of the players because they've been waiting for so long for this to happen.
Well, Pasco next week. I think they put up some major points. I don't forget who they played.
They had a good against Chapel. I think it was against Chapel.
So we can't sleep on them, obviously, right?
No, and with Pasco, here's the thing. I'm told that used to be a big rivalry for Land O'Lakes back in the day. That was the two schools that were here before Sun Lake was here and all that. So my thought was we need to rekindle those things. I mean, the more a rising tide raises all ships, right? If Pasco has a good football team and Land O'Lakes is good and Sun Lake's good and Mitchell's good, Pasco football gets better. So I want to rekindle that, that rivalry and make that a big game for us too.
Okay. Well, congratulations again. I know we got some of the Gators here today.
Oh yeah, no, it's good to see them this morning.
Everybody's happy, big smiles on their faces, and it was a great victory, and sincere congratulations to you.
Yeah, no, it's been a roller coaster this season of injuries and off the field stuff and things that are out of our control. But I'm so thankful that regardless what happened, the boys just come to practice every day, and they work hard, and they want to get better, and they're getting better. I mean, Jake, coming off the edge, I mean, you could see his growth exponentially. Chris Cruz, Jeff Mason, just growing as a football player. And I can go across the board, and guys stepping in where they're needed and being unselfish. I mean, well, coach, I'm not a guard. I need you at guard.
Right.
Or, I don't do H well. Okay, well, you got to learn it because your brothers are counting on you.
Yeah. And
it would have been easy to say, oh, this season's a waste. This season's a waste, and we don't need to be here. We don't need to work that hard.
Right.
But not this team.
Yeah.
I mean, they see the bigger picture. So I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful they played their butts off for the seniors, and it's a bright future for what we're doing.
Well, I always appreciate your time, but I'd like to do this again. After Pasco, or maybe even in the off season, I want to talk a little bit about the future of this team. We see some shining stars in the JV and the sophomores and things. So we'll want to dedicate some time in the future to talk about.
I love doing this with you and talking football and letting everybody kind of know what's going on. And it's year 2 for me. I mean.
Yeah.
We came out really good last season and drive-bys.
Yeah.
Obviously really good last season, and we tried to capitalize on that, but things have happened.
Yeah.
And going forward though, it's just we're going to keep adding those little things, a coach here, a coach there, build the JV staff, and kind of develop that. I mean, it doesn't happen overnight. So. But I do appreciate you and all the stuff we do. Now we have people guarding our camera.
We got our O-line set up here for us.
I'm glad the boys are here today, and it's good to see them. I'm going to miss my time with them, but as they move on to their next phase in their lives, I'm always humbled and appreciative to be part of their lives, and the relationships you make in this. I tell them, I say, because we have them over for dinner and stuff like that, and just kind of get to know them. And it will be actually. My son was very upset last night because he knows the seniors are their time is very short.
Yep.
And he was very upset last night because he's formed a bond with them.
Yeah.
And that'll be the tough thing, especially as a coach. But the amazing thing is, hopefully, I positively affected their lives.
Yeah.
And down the road, when they come home from college or when they're working, and hey, coach, let's grab a bite. And that's my favorite thing to do.
Yeah.
So, but I do appreciate your time and all you've been doing for us. I know we had a little sabbatical with this, but I'm glad to be back. And it was such a fun and amazing win last night. Very exciting. So a little too exciting. I mean, I got more grays and lost more hair, but you want to be in games like that.
Yeah.
Blowouts, they're great for your record, but I want the ones that make your heart beat.
Yeah, well, it made our heart beat.
Absolutely.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
And go Gators.
Yep, go Gators.
Get a nation, baby.
How about you, Gators?
Woo!
Yeah, come on. Y'all want to get in there?
Oh, yeah.
Go Gators.
Go Gators, baby. One down.
Go Gators. One down.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they stay there, and they say yeah.